Hi, everybody. Welcome to the ProVideo Pages webinar and podcast series. Today, I am so excited to have Elizabeth Eiss with me here in the studio. And Elizabeth is going to talk to us about scaling you. And if you haven't figured out what it's about, it's about virtual assistants and getting help from outside resources. So let me introduce Elizabeth, tell you a little bit about her. She is an expert in scaling business operation. She helps solopreneurs and small employers scale by leveraging a hybrid approach of human virtual assistance teams and AI resources. With an extensive background in operations for Fortune 500 companies and as the CEO of ResultsResourcing, a company that provides vetted fractional service teams, Elizabeth empowers small business owners to delegate work, innovate, and achieve sustainable growth. And you can see why I wanted to bring Elizabeth on. You can go and look in the description for a link to the handout, and I would encourage you to click, download that, and print that to follow along and take notes. There's also a tool that Elizabeth will cover, and we'll provide the link for you as well. So take it away, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Ann, and it is an honor to be speaking with everyone today. And I am a very enthusiastic proponent of how small businesses can scale. And so today I'm really going to be talking about 5 powerful tips to scale you, because that's where it starts, as well as your business. So let me add a little bit to what Ann spoke of when she introduced me, mostly from the standpoint of giving you context for why I'm excited about how small business owners can scale. So that's me, Elizabeth Eiss, and I'm the CEO and founder of a company called ResultsResourcing. And we'll talk about what ResultsResourcing is in the context of the talk in a few minutes. But basically, just for background, I have worn probably every possible hat imaginable. I spent decades running Fortune 500 business operations, joined my first tech startup in the year 2002. And over the past 20 years, I've been an entrepreneur, an angel investor, but most importantly, I've spent 2 decades hiring freelancers myself. And so I've used freelancers, worked with freelancers in all kinds of capacities. And ultimately, I found a gap in my hiring process of hiring freelancers and really in small business talent solutions. And so I really, through a roundabout way, found a way to serve small businesses in hiring freelancers. And that's really what Results Resourcing is all about. I launched the company in 2015, and what we provide is human help in hiring fractional talent, because I really discovered that for many small businesses, they really needed a helper, someone to help them figure out what they need and how to hire the best people that could meet that need. And so what we really are is a contract staffing and technology hybrid. We use technology to make it efficient, but at the end of the day, you get to talk to people that understand your journey and will help you find the best talent that can meet your needs so you can scale you and scale your business. So really, why am I so excited about small business? Honestly, it's because they're 99.9% of U.S. businesses, and in fact, in most economies. And so in the United States, that means 33.2 million small businesses. And what I find fascinating is over 80% actually don't have employees at all. They're solopreneurs. And so it's about 29 of the 33 million small businesses are actually non-employee firms. And the rest do have paid employees, but they tend to be less than 20, less than 10 employees. So it's 46% of companies that employ people, including the solopreneurs, and that's 28 trillion to the U.S. economy. So it's a huge factor in the United States. But when you look at each of these businesses, they're quite small. The average revenue for a solopreneur is 50 grand. And for small employers, at 1 to 4 employees, less than $500,000 in annual revenue. 5 to 9 employees, just over $1 million. And 10 to 19 employees, about $2 million. And so I just kept asking myself, how can I help those small businesses scale and have the impact that they want as individuals on their families, on their communities in the United States? I mean, it's a huge portion of the economy, and how do we make that grow? And so I'm referencing here a study by Forbes, which really talked about the 5 key challenges that small businesses and solopreneurs face. And they're probably going to feel very familiar to those of you who are watching this webinar. Lack of proper infrastructure and processes. You just got a business going and you worked it. Talent in roles that really don't align with your bigger picture goals because they're probably people in roles that got started when you started the business and you've evolved, maybe not taken some jumps into bigger picture resources that can help you grow. You probably haven't had a lot of delegation experience, quality control. You just kind of grew it as you built it. And there's really kind of a DIY one-man band mentality, which is common to most or small businesses and solopreneurs. And so those are the key challenges according to Forbes. And honestly, they really reflect what we've experienced as well. So this talk is really about what are the big 5 tips that can scale you? Because if you scale you as a small business owner, you also start scaling your business. And these are the 5 tips: embracing your role as the CEO of your business, understanding the value of your time, focusing on core versus non-core work, developing outsourcing strategies and skills that fit you, and then ultimately thinking broadly to harness the power of virtual assistants. And so we'll be talking about each of these tips in the next few slides. So let's talk about tip number 1, which is embracing your CEO role. And this is a 1-slide tip, but it's probably one of the tips that will have the biggest impact on your business. Because what does get in the way of small business success? It's that DIY bootstrap mentality that got you from wherever you were when you started your business to today, but isn't necessarily going to get you to the business in the future that you're trying to build. And a lot of that is related to not valuing your time, financial constraints that exist for every single business, and perhaps that you haven't focused on building your brand. You've been focusing on doing your business. And so really, the first thing is to really think about how you can shift your mindset to the leader of your firm as opposed to the worker. And this is a trite expression, but it's really true. Finding ways to work on your business instead of in the business. Honestly, you need to do both, but really the key is spending time thinking about how you build your business by stepping outside of the day-to-day operations to really thinking about how to work on your business to grow it and scale it. So it's moving from how to do it all to how do I scale my business. The second tip is kind of related, actually, because it's really understanding the value of your time, because time is your most valuable and the only truly finite asset. There are only 24 hours in the day. And it's thinking about how do you invest your time into the activities that will generate revenue and deliver value to your clients or your customers, and thinking about everything else as being that you're spending time, the cost to your business to run the business. And that dichotomy is really key to planning how you're going to use your time in the future. So really, do you invest your time or do you spend your time? I built this little tool, and you'll get a link to it in the show notes, but how much is an hour of your time worth? You can really just grab a piece of scrap paper and napkin and write a number down. There's nothing magical to it, but just what number comes to mind when you think about what's an hour of your time worth? And then ask yourself, how many hours a week do you work? Multiply the 2, and that is really the rough value of the time you work every week. And the key is thinking about how you shift the dynamic between what you do every day to what are the things that are going to help you optimize your business. And this is a QR code to the value of time calculator, and there'll also be a link to it in the show notes. So let me share with you what the stats are of all the people that have ever taken our ROI of time calculators. The average rate, hourly rate that their hours worth is $166. And they work 58 hours a week. So this is everyone that's ever taken it. But what's really interesting is only 43% of the hours they work every week is actually spent on revenue generating work. So if you take the 25 hours, which is 43%, times the $166 per hour average rate, that's $4,000 a week is invested in work that will generate revenue for your company. But the converse is that 57% or 333 hours is spent on non-revenue generating work. So it's actually a cost to your business. So if you do the same math, it's 33 hours times 166. That's $5,500 you're spending your valuable time on things that don't generate value or generate revenue for your company. And that's really the crux of the issue. How do you take those hours that you're spending that are cost to your business and convert them to time that you spend generating revenue by delivering value to your clients, bringing new ideas to the table? That's what's called the opportunity cost. And that's really the focus of what we're going to be talking about today, is shifting that dynamic. Because really, the core work of your firm is what generates value, generates revenue. And it's the non-core work that's the bulk of the work that needs to get done every day. And it's really focusing your time as the CEO of your business on what matters and delivers value, direct value to your business by generating revenue, adding to clients, delivering more value to clients, or frankly, that's just more fulfilling to you. So what is core versus non-core work? Well, to me, it's very simple, and I've kind of already said it. Core work is work your client will pay you for, that they get value from. So we can call it the front office. Non-core work is the work your client doesn't pay you for, but they expect that you have a well-run back office. So indirectly, they benefit from it, but they're not going to pay you for it. It's just a cost of doing business. And that's really where I want to focus, because if you could find fractional talent that can do that back office or non-core work for you effectively, then that frees you up to spend more time on the front office work, interfacing with your clients and delivering value to them and generating revenue. So what are the things that you do or you delegate? Well, I like to think about the work you should do are the things that your clients value, your customers value, that generates revenue, profit, impact. But maybe you should also do the things that you love to do, that you're good at, because it's fulfilling and enjoyable for you. And then anything else is really in the delegate category. And to me, it's anything that's backroom, administrative, operational, things that you might need someone that have fractional skills that you don't have, or things that you don't like to do or that you're not particularly good at. Those are all non-core work examples that are really a cost to your business. And those are the things you should think about delegating. So if I give you some examples, core things that you should be doing are things that really revolve around client value delivery, strategy, financial management of your business, innovating, coming up with new ideas, partnerships, marketing strategy, setting the tone for marketing for your business, and really things around building community or networks that will help you find partners to do work, as well as bring leads to your business by being active in your community, whether it's a virtual community or a local community. And then everything else is non-core. It's anything that's administrative, things that involve your email management or schedule management. Many businesses have CRM systems, customer relationship management tools. Those are really important to a business to help you track data, but someone else can manage that for you. And I won't read the whole list, but it's everything that's around running your business and organizing the project work that helps you deliver value, writing content, bookkeeping, websites, research. All those things can be done by someone else that frankly is probably better at it and can do it more quickly and effectively than you can. And I will say that depending on the kind of business you have, some of these things might be core to your business versus non-core. If you're a social media marketing business, then some of those social media marketing kind of tasks might be core. But for yourself, it's non-core business. It's something you need to do to keep your marketing presence out in the marketplace. So it's flexible, but these are broad examples of what is core and non-core business. Tip number 4 is really developing outsourcing strategies and skills. And I like to think of it in terms of process, tools, and people. Because really what you want to do is find ways to deliver value scalably and cost effectively. So to me, it's the method of using process, then tools, then people, or something I've nicknamed the PTP outsourcing method. So let's talk about each individually just for a few minutes. So I like to start with process. It's a kind of unsexy thing that a lot of people go, oh, I'm not a process person. But how you deliver customer value is a process, and it's a business asset. If you ever think about passing your business on to someone else, on your team or selling your business, having process documented is a business asset. It's a valuable thing to have. So building repeatable processes day to day is important, though, because it helps you deliver value consistently. It helps you get more done consistently, and it enables you to delegate and to outsource to others because you have a repeatable process to share with them. But a lot of people say to me, oh, but I'm not a process person. No problem. There's a freelance pro that loves to build process and can take it out of your head by interviewing you and getting it into some sort of a digital document or into a tool that will help you deliver process more effectively. The second step is finding tools that fit your process. A lot of people buy tools and then they retrofit their processes to fit the tool. But that doesn't mean that you're necessarily delivering your process with a tool in the best way that fits your business or your clients. So I really suggest that you start with process and then build or get tools that save you time and money that fit your process. And the tools really help you offload repetitive tasks to tools that have a lower cost than humans do, that capture data that you want to gather around your business and what you do for a living, and help you embrace AI. And really, AI is simply just another technology tool. It's not that fancy, really. It's just the latest and the greatest. And AI can help you automate routine processes, help you build workflows and responses that can be reutilized time and time again, help you synthesize information that your tools capture for you, and then ultimately help you go, what if? I help you ideate about new ideas for your customers and your business. And again, you may not feel you're a tech person, but honestly, there's a freelance pro that can help you navigate the tools that might best fit your business. And then to me, lastly, is people. Process, tools, then people. Because you want to leverage people's minds to leverage their critical and creative thinking. So to me, it's important that you follow that order. And those people could be employees, they could be networks, business partners that you find, your local Rotary Club, B&I, whatever it might be, and then contract professionals. There are so many that are available to you on a local or a virtual basis that can really expand your business. And again, if you need fractional talent for whatever it might be, there is a freelance pro out there for you. The key really is just finding the one that's right for you. And that's really the last tip, harnessing the power of virtual assistants, because it will help you optimize your time, which is finite and valuable, as well as your capital. And the great thing about freelancers is they have three key attributes. They're available, they're flexible, and they're skillful. And so these are the key benefits. You can offload the non-core work that, is a cost to you, and you can offload it at a variable cost a variable cost rate, because you don't need them all the time. You just need them on a spot basis for whatever the task is. You may not need full-time bookkeeper. You just might need a bookkeeper 5 hours a week. That's available to you on a freelance basis. It's also results-oriented because they're not your employee. They're not punching a clock. You're their client. And so they come to the work with a productive, outcomes-oriented point of view. They can also add broad thinking and experience because they work across industries. They work for more than one client. They've got ideas that they see working and not working in other areas, so you don't have to recreate the wheel. So you can really bring some expertise to your business that people who are specialist freelancers can bring to the table. And lastly, they can help teach you how to organize and delegate. So that may not be one of your core skills. It doesn't have to be, because freelancers tend to be very organized, and they will help you get confident about building trust and how to delegate and utilize freelance talent most effectively. So just a couple of real-world success stories. These are all kinds of people that in my profession that we have helped. CXO is another fancy term for a fractional person, a contractor that operates at more the C-level or the senior level for a business. Also coaches and consultants. So before these are people that have come to us for virtual assistants. What they tend to look like before a VA is they're a boutique practice. They experience high demand, but they're managing it all. They may have outdated systems, but they have an extensive professional network that they want to reach out to. So they need administrative and operations support, project management, and they need to systemize how they do their work. After they get a virtual assistant, And this is a direct quote from one of our clients that said it was a game changer because suddenly they had more time to work with their clients. They could implement more modern customer relationship management systems that help them with communicating with clients and prospects and automating messaging to all those parties, help them with project management so they were more effective in their work with clients. And it really helped them formalize how they interacted with their professional networks and really finding ways to collaborate with those professional networks. The second real world case study I'd like to share is those who are experts or teachers. And before having a VA, these were people that were delivering monthly webinars on a solopreneur basis, a particular area of expertise that they wanted to share. So they're doing courses, various kinds of group coaching, that kind of a thing. And they were trying to send out notices about their offerings through email and really relying on volunteer support. And so their needs were really around marketing systems and customer service support in their effort to scale their efforts. And so after hiring a VA, this was a direct quote from one of our clients who basically said this VA became an integral part of their business and really helped them scale well beyond delivering monthly webinar production. But they did continue in that mode, but now they had help. They had help about promotion. They helped during the sessions, manning the chat room, taking questions, whatever it might be, and really helping them think down the line how to link different webinar promotion to the one that's being delivered today. They were also got help really around streamlining and managing their website updates and how to link additional course material that was being offered or even other courses that people might be interested in. There were a lot of technology changes as they adopted more sophisticated technology that allowed them to do more and really helped them think outside the box how to leverage one course to do add-ons, new kind of promotions, and really developing other business revenue streams that they could recognize that people attending the webinars would value. Another example I wanted to share was a physical therapy doctor, because here's a client that had both teledoc experience as well as physical on-site experience. And so before the VA, it was a solo practice, really had no systems, limited support. Billing was a challenge. Interacting with insurance was a challenge, but they had a really big vision for the practice. And so their needs were really around administrative and operational support as well as marketing. After the VA joined the team, again, it was a game changer. They implemented a CRM. They did all kinds of workflow automations about scheduling and appointment reminders, things like that. Implemented a billing system that just took all that work off this solo practitioner. Did a lot of different things in social media, including physical therapy videos that they're now releasing in 5 channels. They opened an on-site facility, and they really started to collaborate with other professional practices like yoga studios, acupuncture, chiropractors, really expanded how they could collaborate and deliver services. And then the last example I want to share is a marketing agency, a digital marketing agency. Again, a solopreneur experiencing rapid growth, never had really delegated or worked with a team before, but needed administrative operations support and marketing. And really after the VA, there were plenty of very similar quotes, but they really optimized their project management system, refined their messaging, how they were going to outreach to how they were going to market themselves, basically, to their prospective clients, assisted in creating a lot of marketing materials as not only for the agency, but also for clients that the marketing agencies were servicing, and really helped free up time so they could build courses and things like that to generate passive revenue, as well as sell different deliverables and templates and things like that. So were these so many different ways that in each of these real-world case studies exemplified how people could free up their time to do more, be more of a CEO of their business, and scale their business as well as scale themselves. The last real-world success story I'm going to talk about are online sellers, because it's remarkable how many solopreneurs sell business on Amazon, Etsy, or have Shopify accounts with their websites. And so many of the online sellers that we support, have side businesses. They're doing something else, an online, a a retail store, whatever it might be. And the online sales is a side hustle, but you can't be a casual seller online. There's a lot of technology involved. And so whether it's volunteer support or buying support from Amazon or Etsy, there's a lot of time that needs to be spent to effectively run an online store. And so after hiring a VA, there are amazing VAs that are specialists in online seller programs. And this was a direct quote, didn't know there was help like this beyond what was available for purchase through Amazon or Etsy, for example. So the VAs can help set up stores, manage stores, optimize product listings, how they're written, the SKUs, provide customer service, help with order fulfillment, vendor management, or social media marketing to make sure people understood what was being offered through an online store. So again, all kinds of different ways that VAs can help various kinds of small businesses scale the business and scale the principal by freeing up time so they can focus on growing the business as opposed to executing the day-to-day operations of the business. So how do you find freelance pros? We'll wrap this up by talking about that. There are so many people that freelance in the world. There's 76 million freelancers in the United States, 1.6 billion freelancers globally. And with platforms and networks, you can hire people from all over the world to help you run your business. And there's really two ways. One is do it yourself. Through network referrals, online platforms, you can access people with skills all over the world who speak and write English well and are very smart and entrepreneurial. But whether they're a fit for your business is the hard work. Finding them and then vetting them for fitness for your business is the key. You can do it yourself or you can use a recruiter like us that are contract specialists. It is a paid for service value, but that's the work that a contract recruiter does for you as opposed to you doing it yourself. And back to my original theme about best use of your time, DIY hiring is low ROI. It is a cost to your business. You're spending your time looking and trying to vet freelancers wherever they are in the world. And while it's a paid for service, it's a high ROI because you're paying for success from a recruiter to help you find good people. But it's a choice. It's you deciding what's the best use of your time in terms of getting the resources you need to scale your business. So to really recap, these are the 5 tips. Embracing your role as a CEO, understanding the value of your time and making sure you're investing it versus minimizing your spending of time on low cost, low ROI activities. And that's all around core versus non-core work. Developing outsourcing strategies and skills that fit your business. And finally, thinking broadly about what is virtual assistant. It might be a lawyer. It might be a CPA, a bookkeeper, a consultant. It could be an executive assistant. Those are all broad virtual assistant skills that you can access if you think about a strong outsourcing strategy and skill set that helps you leverage virtual assistants. But in my mind, one of the most underrated professional services out there is a true VA. They can do so much for you in so many different ways. And it's truly a professional service. So I encourage you to think broadly about harnessing the power of virtual assistants in your business to free up your time so you can be the CEO and grow and scale your business. That's really all it is. It's maximizing your impact, and it's finding ways creatively to help you maximize your impact and free you up. And so thank you for listening.
Elizabeth, thank you so much. I took a lot of notes. I love the strategy and the shift in mindset. If there's something that this webinar is about, it is about thinking about your business differently so that you can scale. And I really appreciate you laying out each of those and making the argument for bringing on health. Elizabeth and I have a podcast to share with you that goes more into what Elizabeth and her company do. And I encourage you to click the link in the description of the video and join us over there. So Elizabeth, thank you again so much for sharing with us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me as a guest today.
Sure.